Welcome to the Video Game Chronicles. I am today going to review the NES converter, and what this does, it allows you to play NES games on the Famicom or even the Retro Freak, since it is a Retro Freak adapter. We're going to look at this closely and look at the box. And this, of course, is what the box looks like by Cyber Gadget. I'm also going to do a stress test to see which NES games it is allowed to play. And I'm also going to take this apart just in case if it's not able to play every single NES game on this. I'm going to take it apart to see if that will work. But for now, this of course is the box, and I'm going to open it up. Alright, I got it open. I did it off camera. That way I'm not damaging the packaging. I'm going to take this out if I can. There. And that's what that looks like. I think there's something in here. There's something else in here. I got it. And I think it's, what is that, a registration card? I wonder if that is a registration card. I won't need it. I won't need it at all. Okay. I don't think there's anything else in there. And I'm right? Okay. I'm going to take this out. Alright. That's what it looks like. Okay. Okay, that's what the Famicom side looks like. And of course you plug it into your Famicom. And of course that is the NES converter. That's where you put in your NES games. Alright, I got my Famicom right here, and the Retro Freak is right here. Now usually with most adapters, when it comes to playing NES games on a Famicom, you would usually put the game like this, where the label wasn't shown. That's because of the ridges. You can tell by the ridges right there. However, not with the Retro Freak. This time you can actually put, now I'll show you. I'm going to put this in my Famicom, like so. And of course, usually you put the NES game like this. However, not with this thing. Not with this thing. It can go where you can see the label. And pop it right in. And let me see if I can take this out easily. Yes! That is a good sign right there. That's a positive with the Retro Freak, that you can easily take out the NES game. That is pretty cool. So that's the first positive with the Retro Freak. Now I'm going to take this out. It's hard to take out though, unless you probably use the eject button. But that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to test this on a Tengen game to see if it fits. If it doesn't, I'll take it apart to see if that will work. Now for a Tengen game. Now I'm not sure if this will work, but I will check. If it doesn't, I'll take the Retro Freak apart and see if that will work. This of course is Gauntlet, and I'm going to pop it in. Let's see if it'll fit. Yes it does. Yes it does. Look at that. It went right in. Oh, that's good. That is a good sign. So I don't have to take it apart. It went right in. It went right in the slot. Show you one more time. Look at that. That will fit. So I assume the Game Genie will fit into it too. So that's a great I should say a great positive with the Retro Freak. But this is hard to get out. That's the only thing. Let's see how the pins are. Well, the pins are good. So I'm going to try some games. I will try some games to see if they play. That's the next test. Alright, so now I'm going to try some games with this thing. Right in there. And I think I'm going to try my copy of Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. And as you can see, sorry about the picture, there's sometimes the RF on this thing, one of these things don't come in as good, but at least try. Okay. But it does work. As you can see, I'm just going to go fast. Sorry about the picture, I do apologize. Playing on my regular Famicom. So I should get 6 fireworks. And I was right. Okay. Now I'm going to take this out. Pretty easy to take out. Alright. Now I'm going to try one of the games that Michelle Bells, I think her username is Michelle Bells. Okay, I found the games that Mary Bells actually played. I only have 2 of the 3. I'm going to play one of these, Star Tropics or Castlevania. Oh, I'm going to play them both. But first I'm going to pop in Star Tropics. Should be easy to play. And there's the screen. Oh, I still have my completed game. I beat this back in the day, but it does work. I just wish the picture was coming in. I do apologize. I'm a little fuzzy. Take Star Tropics out since it works. Castlevania 3. And since this is not a clone, Castlevania 3 should work just fine. Sorry about the... okay. I don't think I can put Retro Freak on here, so I'm going to put... works, meaning that the game actually works. Sometimes the picture comes in, sometimes it doesn't when it comes to my Famicom. But as you can see, the game does work. Alright. So now, as you saw, that I put in a Tengen game, but I never actually tried it. I only put it in and I was able to get it in, see if it plays. Hold on a minute. Sometimes that does that with this, but it does play. As you can see, it works. Works perfectly. So I assume this would work on unlicensed games. As you see, a Tengen game works. So obviously all Tengen games should work. See, it works perfectly. Alright folks, I just wanted to let you all know that I figured out the problem why the picture wasn't coming in clearly. As it turns out, I have this hooked up. If I unhook it and then play a game like Dracula's Curse, if I hook this up to the computer, it'll look much blurry. But if I take it off, it should look much cleaner and crisper. And it definitely looks much better. Now before I get to the stress test, I do want to point out that there is one flaw to the Retro Freak, in that it won't play every single NES cartridge, and I'm going to explain why. First off, I'm going to take these screws off, and I will show you firsthand. Alright, now I'm going to take the Retro Freak NES converter apart. Of course, there are 4 Phillips head screwdrivers. I should be able to use this to unscrew the screws. Alright, I got the 4 screws out. I'm going to take this apart now. Hopefully I can get it. Okay. Alright. That's what the plastic looks like. It looks like when we take this apart. Okay. Okay, I see. As you can see right there, what it looks like. Glued or anything. It must have been glued on. It's not badly made, I'll tell you that. Looks like it has several capacitors, it looks like. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the back. Oh, well, the other side, I should say. Okay. So they soldered this in. That's what the conveyor looks like. I could probably do is try doing NES games with just this, or with just this and without the plastic. I might just do that. Now, one of the reasons why certain NES cartridges are incompatible with the Retro Freak is because if you look closely, it only goes down to a certain way when you put in a cartridge, as you can easily tell, because cartridges that have this on the back, it's the back side of the cartridge, the pins that look like this will be incompatible with the Retro Freak. And you can easily tell by actually putting in the cartridge, and once you put in the cartridge, it looks like the cartridge is not connecting with the pins in here. And I will show you that. Alright, I'm going to put the cartridge in now. It's going to be hard to push down since I'm the plastic is not on the, there we go. And if you can look closely to that, I can actually get it close. You can tell that the pins aren't connected to the Retro Freak adapter. And that's because the pins are in a different way than they would be if you were putting another NES cartridge. I already got an NES cartridge that also looks like that. I'm not revealing this one because I haven't played it. And I'm going to be playing it for gameplay and review. Now, there is a game that I have played that also has the same pins as this on the back, and that is Sesame Street ABC. So this will also not work with the Retro Freak. But if you can find a cartridge that doesn't have these sort of pins on the back, then you're fine. Another reason why NES cartridges with this pin set will not work with the Retro Freak is because Cyber Gadget made this a little short. And if this would have been a little longer, I bet ya the Retro Freak would have worked with every single NES game. Alright, now I'm going to try some more games. I'm going to try Blaster Master. Let's pop that in. And I'm going to turn this on. And as you can see, it works perfectly. Alright, I'm going to try RC Pro-Am. Turn it on right now. And boom, it works. Alright, now I'm going to try my torn off label of DuckTales. And this is the one with the different pin set. Let's see if it works. Turn it on. And as you can see, it doesn't work. A gray screen. And we are going to try Basis Loaded, which also has the pin set that DuckTales has. Let's see if this works. Alright, now we're going to turn it on. And as you can see, just like with DuckTales, Basis Loaded also doesn't work with the Retro Freak. As you saw with the test, all of these games are incompatible with the Retro Freak. And that is because of the exact same pin set. But you might be able to find these games without this pin set. But if you do find these games with the exact same pin set, they will not work on the Retro Freak. However, there are games that are similar to those pin sets, but they are not quite as bad as the pin sets that I mentioned. Surprisingly enough, if you see a pin set like this, the Retro Freak will play it. And I will demonstrate this. The game that I have that has this pin set is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when I pop it in the Retro Freak. Alright, let's try it. Alright, and boom. Different pin set, but it actually works. So as you just saw, this pin set will work. Unlike the pin set that is way further down. This at least makes contact with the Retro Freak, so it is playable. since you know that this doesn't play all games, I'm going to try an alternative. This would have been a great alternative for the game carts that didn't work with this thing. However, that particular thing costs over $100, maybe even $200 to $300, even more. So I had to get another alternative. Thanks a lot, people, for making that one thing a lot of money. So since I couldn't get the top-loading Game Genie attachment, I decided to get a Game Genie instead. That is right. I'm going to test this and plug it into here. And I'm going to see what happens with the other games that are not compatible with this out of the box. Alright, now I'm going to see if the Game Genie fits. I put a game. This is one of the games that I couldn't play with the Retro Freak because of how the pins were set. So now I'm going to see if Game Genie will fit. And it looks like it does. Okay, I turned it on, and look at that. Game Genie does work with the Retro Freak. Now I'm going to see if the game works, since the Retro Freak couldn't read it. And boom! So now you know. Now you know that with some games you're going to have to use a Game Genie. And the Robo Warrior was one of the games that had a different pin set in which the pin connector with the Retro Freak does not work. And that's due to the fact that the pin connector on the Retro Freak is a little bit more smaller than the one on the Game Genie is. Because the Game Genie is a little bigger when it comes to the pin connector than the Retro Freak one is. But now you know. And to fix that one flaw is just pick up a Game Genie. Or if you're lucky, and if you have hundreds of dollars, pick up that one particular thing that was released for the NES top loader that was specific for the Game Genie and use that instead. Otherwise, just buy a Game Genie. That's all I gotta say. Because not all games will play with the Retro Freak. You have to have Game Genie to play certain games. Now I'm going to try another game with the pin set with the Game Genie, and this of course is DuckTales, which I already tried without the Game Genie. Put it right in slot. Alright, power it on. Hit the start button, and boom! DuckTales works. Couldn't read it with the Retro Freak, but thanks to Game Genie, DuckTales plays on the Retro Freak. Alright, that has been the test, and now it's time to talk about my final review of the Retro Freak. Alright, what did I think about the Retro Freak? Well, no question about it, this is a great product. And first off, I'm going to start with the positives. Retro Freak adapter. You can play NES games on a Famicom and on the Retro Freak. 2, you can play most unlicensed games. I don't know if every single unlicensed game can be played on it without a NES front loader lockout chip. So as a result, it's not compatible with certain unlicensed games. And another thing, the Game Genie works. The Game Genie does work, and I was quite surprised. So, what are the flaws? Well, it doesn't work with every single official NES licensed title, as certain pins are the result, because the pin connector inside this is a little smaller than it should be. It should be like the size of a Game Genie, because the pin connector for the Game Genie is a little taller than the Retro Freak one is. If the pin connector was a little taller, I bet you it would play every single NES licensed game. So as a result, the only way you can play those NES licensed games is with a Game Genie. Unless you're worthy enough to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to get that one attachment that was designed for the NES top loader to play the Game Genie on. That would definitely be a good option for the Retro Freak for those particular games with that particular pin set. However, the Game Genie is much cheaper, so I highly recommend that you pick up a Game Genie so that way you can play every single NES licensed game. Otherwise, without it, you're not going to be able to play every single NES licensed game because of the pin set. Because I had trouble with certain games like Robo Warrior, and there was a few others. Had the pin connector inside been a little bigger, I bet it would play every single NES licensed game. But that's alright. Thankfully I got the Game Genie so I can actually play those particular games now. So, what am I giving this? Well, there's no question about it. If you can find this on eBay, definitely pick it up. If you never liked the NES front loader and like the Famicom even better and want to play your NES games on it, Retro Freak is for you. So I'm giving the Retro Freak NES adapter a green card. That's been my review of the NES adapter by Retro Freak. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time for another Video Game Chronicles episode. Happy gaming.